Welcome again to Learners Academy. This is Mona Bhatia, and in this lecture I'm covering my all-time favorite poem, A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever, by most popular British romantic poet John Keats. This poem is the first stanza of a longer poem, Endymion, based on a Greek mythology. A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever by John Keats. Although John Keats he died at a very young age, but his work is considered as the most significant literary work of all times. Now I'm going to take the poem one line at a time. The first line states that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. This means the impact of a beautiful thing is that it gives us joy which is long lasting. It inspires us and makes us love this life despite some gloomy moments and despairs. Its loveliness increases. That means its beauty increases, keeps on increasing. It will never pass into nothingness. Means its beauty will never decrease or reduce. It has the power to give us immense joy for long time. But still will keep a bower quiet for us. What does this mean? A thing of beauty will keep a bower for us. Bower means a pleasant shady place for us to sit and relax during the sad hours of our life, that is difficult times. Alright, our tired mind that gets become refreshed when we go back to those beautiful moments, things of beauty which we have experienced in the past. It acts like a bower. So a thing of beauty will keep us going despite all the odds. And a sleep full of dreams and health and a quiet breathing. So I'm going to divide these into three parts. Alright. So first, and a sleep full of dreams and health. A thing of beauty will inspire us to have sleep full of dream and also leads us to good healthy body and healthy mind. Alright. And quiet breathing. What does this mean? This means a thing of beauty will relax us. It will give us relaxation. When we think of a beautiful thing, we have a sound quiet breathing. Alright, now we move on to the next stanza. Therefore on every morrow means what are we doing every other day? Therefore on every morrow. That means so every other day what are we doing? Are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth? Means we read means we cover ourselves with the flowery band, that is the earthly beauty that keeps us grounded to the earth. So spite of despondence. In spite of despondence means in happy and sad times, during the times of hopelessness, during catastrophic times, of inhuman dearth, of noble nature of the gloomy days. So this line means, the poet here means that the world lacked men of noble nature or qualities. So the thing of beauty only gives us courage and hope in case of inhuman dearth. Alright, of all unhealthy and over darkened ways means the thing of beauty binds us to the earth when there is lack of men of noble nature, during gloomy days and during upheavals, during unhealthy times, during continuous striving, during tiring ways. Alright, next is made for our searching. Searching here refers to searching for livelihood, for food, for shelter. Yes, in spite of all means in spite of all these things, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. Means in spite of all these things that disturbs us and makes our life despondent, only some beautiful things of life moves away the cloud of gloom. That means they rise our darkened spirit. Means our soul which feels dejected due to extreme sadness and disappointment. Alright, now what are those things? Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young. Means from here onwards, what the poet starts mentioning all those things which are beautiful. Trees old and young means they are all gifts, they are boons to us. Alright, from simple sheep, the poet here is referring to the human beings as simple shapes. And then he's mentioning flowers. The daffodils are green, yellow colored flowers. With the green world they live in, they are surrounded by green world. Alright, the greenery also gives us pleasure of sights, and clear rills means streams, they give us pleasure, they soothe us. Alright, that is for themselves a cooling covert make. Alright, against the hot season means the generous mother provides a shady place to give us solace and relief to the human beings. Rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose bloom. What does this means? The mid forest break means ferns are sprinkled with musk rose flowers. So these are so many beautiful things in the nature. And such is the grandeur of the doom. What does this line means? There is beauty and grandness even in the doomsday, that is the day of judgment, as it inspires others that they will be rewarded for all their good deeds and noble deeds. Alright, now we have imagined for the mighty dead. So great peoples who are no more now, they are referred to as mighty deads. Who are mighty deads? All those great people. The poet sees beauty in remembering those mighty deads as they inspire us. Alright, all lovely tales. What does this mean? Stories and tales, all these they reflect beauty. Alright, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink means all the things mentioned above are sent to earth like an endless fountain of immortal drink. From where it has been sent? It has been given, it has been showered as a blessing from heaven. Alright, now we'll move on to the next stanza. Nor do we merely feel these essences for one short hour. That means we feel these essences every time, not only for short hour, all the time. Alright, no, even as the trees that whisper round a temple become soon dear as the temple self. Means trees that whisper round a temple soon become as dear as the temple itself. So does the moon. So does the moon means even the moon gives us relaxation, it gives us pleasure. The passion poesy. The passion poesy means the poems which depicts passion, the poems which depicts glories. Alright, these poems they make us spellbound. Alright, they haunt us. What do? They haunt us till they become a cheering light. Means we become spellbound by these poems. They haunt us till they become our cheering light. That means they inspire us. Alright, now unto our soul and bound to us so fast, they stay with us. That means they stay with us, they remain with us, that whether there be shine or gloom overcast, no matter what life brings, whether happy moments or sad moments, they will always be there with us until the day one dies. Alright, so in short, these things they all get into our souls, they bind us with lot of pleasure, whether there are happy moments or gloom overcast means sad moments. Alright, beautiful composition, they makes us so happy, they gives us satisfaction, that if at all we are detached from these things, we shall surely die. That means will not surely die, our life will become very dull without them. So this poem is really a very nice poem. It's a wonderful piece of poetry by John Keats, and I know it's very heavy poem, it's very difficult also to understand, but still it's a very important poem from the examination point of view also. Words and phrases to understand. The first word is bower. Bower means a pleasant, shady place under trees or climbing plants. Alright. The next one is morrow. Morrow is tomorrow, the following day. Wreathing. Wreathing means covering. Alright. Spite. Spite means desire. Desire to have something. Alright. Or offend, annoy something. Alright. Despondence. Despondence means without any hope. Dearth. Dearth means shortage. Pall. Pall means a sheet spread over the dead. It is here referred to as a cloud of gloom. Alright. Now the next word is rills. Rills means streams. Now the next word is covert. Covert means not openly known or displayed. It's a thicket in which something can hide. Alright. Break. Break means ferns. Dooms. Dooms means the last day of existence known or displayed. It is also called as day of judgment. Alright. Brink. Brink means edge. Poesy. Poesy means poetry. And overcast. Overcast is a short form of overcast. O-V-E-R-C-A-S-T, and it means spread above. We'll move on to the next slide. Some questions that you need to know the answers of. First is find the expressions of joy, that is beauty, from the poem. So you will have to go through the full poem again. See, a bower, it's an expression of joy. A sleep full of dream is also an expression of joy. A flowery band, daffodils, clear rills, and then you can see this line, mid-forest brake rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. This is also an expression of joy. The next question is find the expression of sorrow from the poem. So the spite of despondence is an expression of sorrow. Of inhuman dearth of noble nature. Then of the gloomy days. Alright. Unhealthy and over darkened ways, and then dark spirits. So all these are expressions of sorrow. Now the poet is asking what is the impact of a beautiful thing on us. See, the impact of a beautiful thing is that its image remains with us for a long time. Its beauty fills our heart with happiness, and during the difficult times, by merely recalling those images, we can lift our spirits up and we feel happy, and we have hope for the future. And that thing of beauty becomes a joy for us. Every time we feel low, its memory has that lasting impression on us. It can, bring us back to the life. Alright. Now next question is, what does a thing of beauty keep in store for us? So beautiful things keep many things in store for us, like a quiet bower, that is a pleasant and shady place under trees. And here it means all those memorable moments, and a sleep full of sweet dreams, good health, quiet breathing, that is relaxed state of mind. So all these things have been kept by thing of beauty for us to enjoy during the time when we need them most. Alright. Alright. The next question is, who are the mighty deads? Alright, and why they are attributed with grandeurs? See, and with this question you can also take the question can be asked in this way, like explain the lines, and such too is the grandeur. Alright, so both way you should know the answer is same here. Mighty deads are those people who have died long time back, but they are still remembered because of their deeds, because of their good work that they have done, what the rich legacy that they have left behind them. Alright, all these things that have made those mighty dead as mighty people. All right, and they lived their life for a purpose. Now they are serving as an inspiration for this generation because of their valuable service to the society or the world. So that's the reason they are attributed with grandeur, because of their noble deeds. All right, now we have to pick the lines that contain imagery. All right, we are reading a flowery band. All right, this line brings a image to our mind. Some shape of beauty moves away the pall. So when you speak this line, there is an image that is created in your mind. The next is, and such daffodil and the green world they live in. So just imagine, when you read this line, your mind goes to the yellow colored daffodil flowers and all the leaves that are surrounded by them, the green world they live in. All right, the next is trees young and old sprouting a shady boon. You get an image in your mind, right? Rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. All these are written in such a way that the moment you speak these lines, you create an imagery in your mind. Endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. All right, now the next question is, we have to pick out some examples of consonance and assonance from the poem. You know what is a consonance? Consonance means repetition of the consonant sound within a word, phrase, or a short sentence. And assonance means repetition of the vowel sound within a word, phrase, or a sentence. Alright, now the examples are, for consonants, I'll take consonants first. And such is the grandeur of the doom. So here the sound of d is repeated, and grandeur, dooms. All right, and again the sound of oo is repeated, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. So oo is repeated. All right, so but this will be taken, if you take the same line in assonance, then you take oo sound, because oo sound is a sound of a vowel. All right, and if you have to take this line as a consonance, then you have to highlight d sound, and grandeur and dooms. So this d sound will be taken for consonants and oo sound will be taken for assonance. The next line that has got consonants is, that whether there be shine or gloom overcast. So the sound is not repeated in the beginning of the word. If it is repeated in the beginning of a word, then it has to be an alliteration. Now that, the, whether, the, all right, there. So this means it is a consonance. Then we have another line, haunt us till they become a cheering light. All right, so haunt, till, light. So t sound is repeated here 3 times. So this is consonant, a good example of consonants. Now we'll move on to assonance. As I mentioned before, the same line, all lovely tales that we have heard or read or heard. All right, so this has got assonance also. Full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. The sound of E, sweet, dreams, breathing. So the sound of E is repeated here. And another example here for assonance is, and such too is the grandeur of the doom. So oo sound is repeated. Now, but still will keep, ill. The sound of A, ill, E is repeated here. So this is an example of assonance. Pick out the words that we don't use often in modern days. Those words are called archaic words. Alright, the first one is boon. We don't use boon nowadays, we use gift instead. The second word is morrow. Morrow means the next day. Covert, it's a protective spot for animals. That means a thicket where animals can hide which all right. The next word is bower. Bower means a cool shady spot under tall trees. Bower is a archaic word. The next is break. We don't use nowadays break, it's an archaic word. We use ferns instead. The next is brink. Brink means edge. Despondence means depression. And pall. Pall means cover for the dead people. Next is rills. We don't use rills nowadays. It's an archaic word, and instead we use streams. Poesy means poetry. Some additional questions that you have to mention in brief. What are those? What man does to bind himself to the earth? He reads a flowery band. The thing that move away dark moments from our life, a beautiful thing or a thing of beauty. Two things from nature which are beautiful, the sun, the moon. Alright. Two flowers mentioned in the poem. They are musk rose flower and daffodil is mentioned. What did the mid forest break is sprinkled with? Mid forest break is sprinkled with musk rose flower. What is judgment day in the poem? Doomsday. Alright. How beautiful things are sent to the earth? The beautiful things are sent to the earth like an endless fountain of immortal drink. From where the beautiful things are sent to the earth? They are sent from the heaven's brink. Now we are going to cover the most important topic of the poem, that is the figures of speech. The poet has used many figures of speech here. The first line mentioned by Keats here is, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. The figure of speech in this line is epigram. Epigram means a brief, a witty statement, pithy, expressive statement, which is nowadays used as a proverb. Alright. Then you see, but still will keep a quiet bower for us. There is a metaphor in this poem because there is an implied comparison between a thing of beauty and the pleasant shade under the trees. Now, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. So there is a increasing order of importance. So the figure of speech here will be climax. Alright. Now in this line you can see there is an alliteration. The repetition of sound D is there. So this is an alliteration. Now, unhealthy over darkened ways. You see this? There is an increasing order of the increasing order of the thing, unhealthy and over darkened. So the sorrow is defined in, first they have said unhealthy, then they have to increase the value over darkened way. So here the figure of speech is climax. Now you see the sun, the moon. Now tree is old and then young. So opposite of climax is used here because the sun is of the most important value, then comes moon, then old trees and then young. Alright. So the things are arranged in the descending order of their importance. Now there is antithesis also because tree, young and old, these two are opposite to each other. Opposite meaning. Alright. Whenever there are opposite meaning word in a sentence, what is that speech figure of speech? That is an antithesis. Alright. Now we have sprouting a shady boon. Now this is very important because this is a metaphor. Metaphor because a shady boon is compared to or seen as a thing of beauty. Alright. Now that for themselves, you can see in this line the repetition of the sound the is here, and then cooling cover. That means the sound of C is repeated here. Alright. Now, and such is the, this one highlighted here is a assonance. The reason is the sound of oo. The sound of oo is repeated here, grandeur and dooms. So this figure of speech is assonance. Alright. And then we move on to, we have imagined for the mighty dead. Alright. Mighty dead are two contrasting ideas, like how can people who are dead be mighty? So the contrasting ideas is used here in the same line. Now again, one more highlighted line you can see here: all lovely tales that we have heard or read. So there is a consonance. Why consonance? The sound of letter L, L is repeated here 4 times. All lovely tales. So in this, the consonant sound may not necessarily be the first letter of any word. Alright, it can come in between also. The next, an endless fountain of immortal drink. So the figure of speech here is in this metaphor, because the gifts of nature, they have been compared to fountains of blessings flowing endlessly from the heaven. All right, now that whisper round, the trees that whisper round. So you can see the word whisper, it, the sound made by the trees. So that means there's a mention of a word which is denoting sound. So the figure of speech here is onomatopoeia. Now there is one more figure of speech here, that is personification. The reason is the trees are given the human quality of whispering. Alright, now in this line, the passion poesy, the letter P is repeated, and then you can see one more line which is highlighted in dark. This is haunt us till they become a cheery light. You see this till they become a cheering light. The sound of is repeated here. That means a repetition of a consonant sound. So the figure of speech here is consonance. Now we will move on to the next line. That whether there be shine. So this letter of sound the is again repeated here. There. So again the figure of speech here is consonance, because the is a consonant. Th sound makes the sound and it is a consonant sound. So the figure of speech here is consonance. Now it is also can be taken as an alliteration. When you only mention these two, then it can be mentioned as an alliteration, but when you take this sound also, include this one also, then it becomes a consonance. Alright, now in the last line there is shine and gloom. Alright, the contrasting ideas shine and gloom are used in the same line, so the figure of speech is antithesis. Alright, that's all about the figures of speech. I hope you have understood it well now. Critical appreciation of the poem. The title of the poem is A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever, which is the first line of the poem and has become a proverbial. Alright, and this poem is the first stanza of a longer poem, Endymion, based on Greek mythology. Now the poet is John Keats. He is the most popular of all British romantic poets. The rhyme scheme is AABB. The poem is written in rhyming couplets with proper meter followed, giving rhythm to the poem. Alright. The figures of speech used to enrich the poem includes alliteration, metaphor, climax, epigram, anticlimax, antithesis, assonance and consonance. So here we'll mention one or two figures of speech which are really important. We'll mention epigram and consonance and assonance because they are new one. Always try to keep something which is not used by other students to gain more marks. Alright, so the epigram stands out as a figure of speech because the line, A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever, is a pithy statement. It is expressing a deep meaning and is now used as a proverbial. Alright, now assonance can be seen in the line full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Alright, but still will keep. These two are assonance example. Now examples of consonances: all flowery band to bind us to the earth. So the sound of nd d is repeated here. All lovely tales also has a consonance in it. You can even mention few more. Climax is used, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Anticlimax is used in such the sun, the moon, trees old and young. Alright? Now, the central idea or the theme of the poem. The central idea of the poem is that the beautiful things, they give us unending pleasures and can change our lives. It tells us how nature and its wonder mesmerizes us. It takes away all sorrow that surrounds us. Alright? Beauty of nature continuously cheers us. It inspires us. It motivates us. Right? During the gloomy periods of our life, we must focus on the beautiful things, beautiful incidences, beautiful memories, and move on in life rather than indulging in self pity or blame games. Alright? Why I like or dislike the poem? Uh, I like this poem because it inspires me. It does not let me fall into the vicious cycle of self pity. It inspires me to find hope in the beautiful thing around me. When we are surrounded by the beautiful things, that feeling does not wear off soon. That feeling of beauty, that beauty enters our mind. We become the beauty which we once observed. So keep inspiring yourself with all the beautiful thing in the world. Focus on the beautiful thing of earth, as they will be our pillars of strength during turmoils and upheaval. So that's all about this poem. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm signing off right now. Keep learning. Have a good time.